And we are back with more Katawa Shoujo. Just got off Skype and then went and took a shower. And now I'm back. And the person I was on Skype with is somebody I'm going to be doing a duo commentary with. Katawa Shoujo. Just going to share the screen and record it. Um, Other than that, let's check the frames. Good, 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 good. And let's load. And I accidentally skipped, I remember, so I have to go to the text history to see what was said. The feeling and scent of her head gently resting on my shoulder and her warm body against my side are soothing. The soft humming of her voice, too, relaxes my mind as much as her warmth relaxes my muscles. Alright, there we go. Now that I've remembered to read that. The singular quiet moment after all this frack I don't know. Makes me realize just how exhausted I've become. I can feel my eyelids slowly becoming heavier and heavier. Even with the chaos of before, I wish this moment would last forever. Lily and I together, sharing a single solitary occasion together, just as we used to. But if that's the case, why does she feel further away than she's ever felt before? Oh my god, I did it again. Like 3, clicks away from a chapter change. Wow. I'm starting to get terrible at doing this. A loud clatter of books falling into the return slot abruptly breaks the grip of silence under the school library. It's become a habit for me to come to the library at least once a week. Not only does the reading itself keep me busy, but discussing books with Hanako and Lily also does. Obviously startled, Yuko suddenly twists towards the direction of the noise. I'd have thought her used to people dropping books by now, since she does work here. Oh, hello, Hisao, back again. Takes me a moment to respond. My mind's still distracted by the familiar melody of Lily's humming that's hardly left my ears in the several days it's been since I fell asleep to it. Oh, yeah, just returning some books I borrowed. She casts her eyes downwards, presumably to the bin the books dropped into. You're a very heavy reader, aren't you? It's become a bit of a routine now. Passes the time, at least. Wish I had free time to pass. From small talk to depression in less than 5 seconds. Awesome. I think that's a new record for her. She seems a bit down in general today, even compared to normal. Considering she has to work 2 jobs just to support herself, I could see how that would take a toll on her lifestyle. Come to think of it, the pay for her job here can't be all that bad. The idea of staff in such a prestigious private school going hungry strikes me as counterintuitive. Working 2 jobs must take a lot of time. I'd probably never manage it. You're lucky being a student. Do you think you'll be able to go to university? If she's asking, then I guess that's the expected result of having this kind of education. Private schools like this don't exactly come cheap. I guess. I have the money, I think. Got plans which will require going to one, and my marks are good enough. It's more a matter of how I'll pay to do so. University costs so much that I'm having to work 2 jobs to afford to enter it. Paying for daily expenses too makes it a lot harder. If you're reading it this much, though, this means you're doing well in school, right? Interesting logical jump. Not an altogether wrong one, though. I suppose so. I didn't find any of the exams very hard, aside from maybe 1 or 2, or all of them. Do you mind if I ask what studies you're pursuing in university? Yuko appears to genuinely brighten at the question. Anthropology, to be specific. I'm specializing in the history of classical era Athenian civilization and democracy. She really seems to know her stuff. Such enthusiasm is to be admired, and it's nice to see her genuinely excited about something. I guess when somebody like Yuko can be happy if she has a visible road ahead of her. Oh, shh. I didn't even click. Oh, shit, now. What the fuck happened? Ugh. Uno momento. Damn it. When shit fails. Okay. God damn it. Text history is where I meant to go. It's good to hear. If you... Both of us jump at the sudden interruption coming from my pocket. What? It's vibrating. Apologizing profusely and quickly shuffling into the hallway as I fumble with the cover of my mobile phone. I glance at the screen. Weird. It's a mobile number I don't recognize. Considering I can count the number of people with my phone on one hand, I briefly wonder whether it's some telemarketer that lucked out. Hello, it's Sound Akai speaking. Geez, pick up faster next time. Anyway, guess who? I don't know. Lesbian in a suit? Takes me a few... It only takes me a second to recognize the distinctively deep, brusque voice. Hey, Misha, didn't expect you to call me. Huh? You actually think I sound like her? Yeah, I do. Got problem? Not at all, Akira. I don't remember giving you my number, though, so I thought I'd mess with you. Oh, that. I got Lily to give it to me. Not hard. She positively brims with pride at the statement. She's trying to get me caught up in her pace. I know it. Suppose I shouldn't be surprised that the two would share my number, though, given how close they are. So, what's up? You free right now? I guess. Why? Could you meet me in the park in town? Just want to talk to you about some stuff. Is that an invitation to a date? What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen. Her previous teasing nature have instantaneously left. It seems strange for her. Anyway, I don't see why not. When do you want to meet? Kind of now-ish. Wait, right now? But it's... The dead silence suddenly coming for the phone announces the fact that she is unceremoniously hung up. You bitch! Don't hang up on me, bitch! What's your favorite scary movie? Oh shit, I just made a Scream reference. This is not good. Oh, I gotta get more comfortable. This is not comfortable for me. For a long time, I just stand there, staring at the call-ended message on the screen while replaying the conversation in my head. What the hell, Kira? Just you bitch! Don't ever hang up on me again. Now. What's your favorite scary movie? Throwing a glance up and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I've learned to pace myself on such walks, mostly because Lily's slower speed during our forays into town means I have to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira didn't expect me to be immediately prompt. Just chilling, drinking a beer? Takes only a couple of seconds to spot her, waiting on the bench with a can of beer in her hand. Okay, from this angle, she actually does look like a chick. Because I can see the earring and the eyes actually look like a chick's eyes, and you can see tits. The look she gives me as I walk up lacks any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What's with the look? I needn't have to come, you know. I know you would. You're the kind of person after all. Oh, that's a low. Lower my brow at her remark as she disposes of the can, emptied by the time I arrived, and a metallic clatter rings out. Kira takes a seat on the wooden bench, and I follow her lead. She takes another can of beer from beside her and opens it before speaking, taking a large gulp. She seems to really like that stuff. I do too. I suppose I don't need to ask what this is about, or rather, who is about. Heard from Lily that you asked about our family. So? They share more than phone numbers, that's for sure. Fucking gossip, goddamn. I'd probably be very worried right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her voice. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful. Idle curiosity, mostly. I have to admit, I never have guessed that you two were half Scottish. She gives a wry chuckle of amusement. Oh, my eye itches. Fuck. Better. I've heard that before, trust me. Small smile falls from her face, her eyes looking ahead distantly. Aside from the occasional elderly couple talking as they slowly walk the meandering paths, and the odd aging car it's pleasantly quiet. She didn't tell you everything though, did she? It was pretty brief. Parents live in Scotland. She hasn't met them since she was 12, and she wants to meet them again. It's always surprised me how devoted she is to our parents for all the good they did us. The way she says it sounds almost derisive. Is that how you say that? Derisive? Derisive? I don't fucking know. Shit. Don't blame me for bad pronunciation. She gives a small sigh, as if to quickly brush the feeling away. Why do you think they left us, Al? Why do I think they left? From what Lily told me, it was because of work. I guess a pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way your parents seem to live. So Lily went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with the airs and graces of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Inverness boomed, our father decided to move quickly to the same city as its headquarters. That's just the conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured. You don't think they left it for their career? I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think? Yamaku Academy. I've always felt that place was kind of creepy. Hey, just because it has disabled people don't mean it's creepy. Like it was, okay, maybe one person in there is creepy, and his name is Kenji Satao. Since I didn't know his name was the same as fucking Lily's last name, but without an A, just an E, Setao. Like it was isolated, like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society doesn't want to see nor hear. They probably just rue the fact that Lily wasn't old enough to be shoved there by the time they left. Long silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents and Yamaku. Lily's blindness is hardly something that could be simply ignored for a high-class family attempting to keep up appearances, much less so when a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gives that word again. I don't know it. Snort, her feelings coming to a head. Moving to secure our financial future with his new job posting. Even at the time, I hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I gently try to steer the discussion. So you stayed in Japan with Lily then? Either I stayed with her, or she went to live with an ailing grandmother and grandfather. What about Shizune's family? If you're cousins, then our fathers hate each other. I'd have been more happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyway. But Lily wouldn't have wanted that. I'd also had an offer for a job by then. So we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape. Uno momento. Pausing time. Unit patrol, unit patrol. Alright, I'm back. Mm. Did I read this? Yeah, I read part of it, I think. And tried to continue our lives as if they'd never left. So you just lived by yourselves? Because Lily had school and I had my job, so we weren't exactly languishing. Oh, these fucking allergies. Hold on. Gonna pause Go take some allergy medication. Okay. With her schooling, her study, and having to do chores while I worked, though I can't help feeling like I failed her. In the end, I tried to be there for her and screwed it up. Expecting a 19-year-old to be a mother for a blind child. It's ridiculous. So Lily and Akira lived alone after their parents moved, with Lily largely taking care of herself. I guess that explains her apparent independence compared to many in Yamaku. May have lived alone much of the time since my parents both worked, but that's just something else entirely. Sorry for making you listen to my moaning, Hisao. It's not sexual at all. I'm sorry, I was just like thinking, wait, what's something clever? Nah, I can't think of anything. Don't mind at all, but do you mind if I ask why you're telling me all this? You always were curious. Context, I suppose. Life isn't a fairy tale, Hisao. Some people have to learn that the hard way. She takes a long drink from the can in her hand, her face becoming more depressed than distant. Broke up with my boyfriend a few days ago. After I leave, we're not going to be able to see each other again. But that's how life is. You can't just set your life up and expect it to stay that way forever. Sometimes stuff happens that you have to roll with, even if it means hurting it yourself or others. She takes a long breath before looking up at the bright orange sky. Damn. If I smoked, I could take a nice long drag right about now and look kind of cool. Why are you talking about smoking right now? I'm smoking. So fuck you. I want to respond to help her in whatever way I can, but I feel utterly useless. This kind of situation is one I've never been in, and I simply don't have the experience to say anything meaningful to comfort her. Kira looks over and evidently picks up on this, much to my embarrassment. Must look pretty pathetic right now, whining about this to someone I barely know. Hardly. I'm pretty much an expert on looking pathetic. She gives a chuckle, the act feeling like a personal victory for me. You're a good kid, Hisao. You're not that... Never mind. You're a good kid, Hisao. When I said that I approved of you being with my sister, I wasn't joking or just being nice. Whoa, you just like teleported backwards like 17 feet. She picks herself up off the seat with a grunt, one that seems ill-fitting given her age, and throws the now empty can into the bin after one last swig. It's just unfortunate that doesn't really count for much in this world. When I said that I was leaving for Scotland, I was doing it because a good position opened up in our company's headquarters. When our folks told me that when we were at their place, though, they also gave Lily a summons to rejoin them in Inverness. Yes, bogus moment has come into play. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, something is happening. No way. Her evasiveness when asked about her future, that awkwardness that had steadily grown between us, that uncharacteristic outburst of anger, all of them suddenly fit into place. It's like a fucking puzzle. Puzzle of life. Love that song. Hold up. The same family that she reminisced about after Hanako's birthday party, the same family that left her and Akira to themselves after taking flight to greener pastures. Now I feel stupid for never cornering Lily on what was bugging her. I had never even considered if something had happened during her trip to her family's home at Inverness. And now a sense of unease grows in my chest. If her family has summoned her to join them in Scotland, all the way on the other side of the earth, has she accepted? Lily hasn't told me whether she plans to accept, and it seems she hasn't told you either. That's why I called you down here to talk, Hisao. Context, huh? Sit back, my feelings of worry and frustration no doubt written all over my face. Lily's a strong person, Sal, but she's not infallible. I guess it's my job to worry about her, being her older sister, but I think that you deserve to know. I understand. I understand completely. Not really. You okay? You sound depressed. No, I'm just thinking. That's good. Thinking is good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. She looks at her watch, barely moving her wrist. Gotta go. Will you be okay? I'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll have to talk to Lily about it and get everything sorted out. She gives a smile, but it doesn't feel all that genuine or sincere. Really, both of us are dancing around the fact that Lily's on the precipice of the biggest decision of her life and is trying to take the entire burden on herself. And part of that burden is the matter of our relationship. By the time I look up, Akira's already walking off with her hand held up. Where'd the fucking music go? For the first time in a long while, I finally have an answer to something. Perhaps not even that, but at least I now have the right question to ask. Will you leave or stay? Will you leave or stay? 15 seconds. My friend, you've just been kicked in the nuts. Oh shit, it's raining. My frames! No! How much time am I working with here anyway? Plenty. Hurry, Lily. I'm moving as fast as I can. I can barely make out Lily's voice over the deafening pounding of the rain. Even though I dislike pulling her around, the situation calls for it. Turn forward, my free hand over my head in a futile attempt to keep at least my hair dry. My vision seems to be in grayscale. This really is rotten weather for summer, and in the last kind of climate I'd want for a date. A pity. I'd even checked the weather forecast beforehand, one of the very few times I've ever done so, only for it to say that Sunday afternoon would be fine. Looking to Lily, her shoulders are now completely drenched, and her right hand holding tightly to mine, and her left gripping her retracted cane. Go away, there is no high CP. Yes, there is, actually. There's fucking rain sprites on the screen. This horrid downpour came on just as we were between our destination and Yamaku, so we decided to try rushing the rest of the distance rather than doubling back. Entirely unused to running this fast, Lily's using all her concentration just to avoid tripping over. So, do you know where we're going? Even as she's reduced to shouting to try and be heard over the combined noise of the wind and the rain. The rest of my voice is completely drained out by the heavier burst of rain. The what? The Shanghai, damn it. How far is it? Shouldn't be far now. It doesn't take long before I call out to her once again. Looks like we're safe, and she's just up ahead. See, I can't yell because it's getting late. And if I yell, then I'm going to wake somebody up. And then I'm going to have to do something called pausing. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, need another drink, so there might be another one coming away. Ugh. Delicious, Dr. Pepper. Quickly pull up to stop just in front of the familiar exterior, the lantern outside still giving off its reliable glow, and wait for Lily to catch her breath before going in. Ladies first. Tiny bell inside rings out when I hold the door open for her, a smile and a polite nod being my reward before entering myself. As I step in behind her and wipe my feet, only a quick glance is necessary to notice the distinct lack of activity. Shanghai doesn't seem to get much in the way of patronage, and today is no different. Only a couple of tables are occupied. Ugh. Somewhat by the bells ringing, the most expected person comes to greet us. God, how many hours a day do you fucking work, woman? Welcome to the Shanghai. Yuko looks chipper today. Trying to predict her moods is pretty hard, but it's a nice change from the norm. Hello, Yuko. Hey. Good afternoon, you two. Every time she does that, I think that she kind of like started walking towards them and then fucking tripped and just said, "Oh shit." She takes a deep bow, somewhat taken aback as she rights herself again and gets a better look at us. What happened to you two? You both look. Her eyes drift towards the glass of the door behind us. Oh dear. Oh Lord, no. We're inside now, at least. I think that's the most important thing. It's nice and cozy. You're lucky to be working inside today. She's always working inside. It has been nice and quiet. I like days like this. Oh, wait, is there anything you'd like? French vanilla tea, please. I'll have the same. Right, coming right up. She quickly skitters off with a determined look on her face, trying very hard not to forget our orders. If nothing else, she's at least dedicated to her jobs. I lead Lily to an empty seat before the two of us settle down. As usual, there's a large difference between my exhausted flopping down into my seat and Lily's delicate sliding into hers, her cane set beside her. For a while, I just idly watch the rain falling outside. The occasional person runs down the street trying to stay as dry as possible, hands often tightly gripping a rain-soaked umbrella. Just to see somebody fly away with an umbrella, yeah, just help! Just fuck, what do I do? Somebody help, the rain is taking me away. Team Rocket's blasting off again. Lily sits just as quietly as I, her eyes closed as she intently listens to all that's happening, which isn't much. It's a comfortable, relaxing silence that exists between us, just the type that we'd so often shared together in the past months. For Lily, at least. Can't help replaying the words of her sister in my mind, at times contrasting them to both our time spent together since I entered Yamaku, and to the way we've been since we started dating. No matter how much I try, I can't work Lily out. It's as if the harder I try to second guess her emotions and her potential decision, the more difficult it becomes to reach a clear conclusion. I have to pause again. Might actually start listening to some music, maybe. Hold up. Gotta pause real quick. Again. Sorry about that. Okay. Makes me doubt whether I'd ever really understood her. In the end, I'm going to have to ask, even though I very much want to avoid doing so. You seem quiet today, Hasao. Really? You seem so enthusiastic about taking me out on a date. I'd assumed you had something specific you wanted to do. No, not really. Just wanted to spend some time with you. Is that so? Fine. There was one thing. A little grin finds its way onto Lily's face, her knowing full well that she's bested me. Makes me want to say all the more awkward. It was just Akira and I were talking. Oh? What's with that tone? You two do seem to get on well, don't you? What are you implying by that? Well, I do think she's a pretty cool person to talk with. It'd be nice if any of the teachers were anything like her. Cool. For a moment, I try to place her tone on a voice, my mouth curling into a smirk as I realize it. You're not jealous, are you? Not jealous. Her face is just like, I'm not jealous. Why would I be jealous? After teasing me over such a thing on our first date, I don't feel too bad having a little laugh at her expense this time around. Un momento. As we settle down, though, it's only a minor distraction from the real point of why I brought Lily here. Don't worry. It was mostly just everyday stuff, that said. There was something Akira mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about. When you went to see your family in Inverness a while back, she said. Akira told you about my family's summons, hasn't she? Seconds ticket. Oh, depressing music. Lovely. Thank you very much, fucking Katawa Shoujo. Thanks for making me feel bad. Is the volume even at max? Yes, it is. Lovely. Depressing music plus me equals bad recording. Seconds tick by while I try to read Lily's face, an odd mixture of feelings written on it. She seems annoyed, but also somewhat confused. Here. Yuko tentatively slides our drinks onto the table, her presence oddly small. As she walks back to the counter after a quick, polite nod, I realize the air between Lily and I is thick and our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you, and it's not like I can't understand her concern over this. One momento, trying to find out where to put this out. Right here is fine. There we go. Lily's irritation gives way to an awkward and largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you'd have figured it out eventually, but you were intentionally hiding this from me? How long were you planning to do so? As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. Wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. What did you decide to do in the end? I know what I want her to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there. So, you're going. How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland just a month ago, or about a month ago, sometime. My frustration very nearly boils over. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her not only be leaving, but to have been actively hiding her own plans from me, and after seeming for so long to be the one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on. It feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically. Much faster than I can adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much frustration as sheer unease, Lily. I'm sorry, I wanted to think this through completely. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you, please. I know, Lily, I know. This is just really sudden. I guess this means that once you go, we'll be breaking up. For one of the few times I've seen since I've met her, she's genuinely lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt, because the fact had dawned on her once she became sure of her decision. But rather, she appears genuinely unsure of how to deal with the situation now that it's in front of her. We could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. They're getting more and more common these days, after all. Even as she says it, the tone of her voice gives away that she doesn't truly believe what she's saying. Bogus ass moments. And bad timing on shit. I have to pause again. This bogus ass shit. This is a fucking bogus ass situation. Lee is far too old fashioned to be able to cope with a relationship without any kind of physical presence. And even if I am, to an extent, all we would ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to rationalize everything is futile. Any attempts to try and connect what's happening with the future or past just seem to get more difficult the more I concentrate. Oh shit, I accidentally pressed twice. Those quiet moments when we just walked side by side, the precious time we spent with Hanako and Akira, the casual chatter we had during lunchtimes, the times we made love. Lol. Wrong time to be making jokes, but okay. The confessions of our feelings to each other, all pointless, all just a fleeting moment in our young lives. We're just two children pretending to be adults, aren't we? A long, long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons drinking and talking only makes the situation feel more strange and disconnected. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. Oh my god. God damn it, I gotta pause again. This will probably be the last one. Alright. I'm sorry, so. Simple apology and no more. She's left entirely without any further response or comment. With a long sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with Akira, so it'll be less than a week. The beginning of summer holidays? Just a little afterward, yes. Her tone is unusually slow and steady, her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written on her face as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going to Tenabata with her before she leaves. Depression! I look down, seeing my face reflected in the now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I'd left this kind of expression behind. For a while, I just stared down into the still surface, trying to sort out my emotions to get at what course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But, just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lily gently sipping her cooled tea without complaint, her face drawn and her shoulders slumped. She looks too deep in thought to a strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside and the few other patrons of the Shanghai having left. Ah, Does Kenji show up here? I think so. The chill of the rapidly darkening evening permeates the dormitory hallways. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from up ahead. Yep. Hello. Fucking Kenji. Sure enough, the opening of the door opposite mine heralds the arrival of bespectacled Kenji. Hey man, what's... Whoa, dude, you look awful. I think. You okay? He really has a knack for making any situation better. I don't really want to go into it. It's late. Okay, that's cool. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm, here. Look at him for a moment before surrendering my stern front, awkwardly scratching the back of my neck, embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Thanks, Kenji. Hey, it's cool. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right. See ya. I open the door to my own dorm room and close it behind me as quickly as he quickly waves me off. Solid thud of the door makes against the door frame sounds out a final call for the life I've led since coming to Yamaku. Just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just what should I do? We should have a sexy party. Just invite everybody. Just be like, fuck this. Everybody report to the gym immediately. Bring music. and alcohol. How much time are we working with here? Yeah, I'm going to stop it here. Just for time reasons. But I'll see you guys in the next recording. Peace.